in social media awareness.
Yeah.
Because from the point where we sit, there could have been a surge because of economic factors also, but this is something that's been going on for a while. I mean, for a very long time.
Yeah.
And okay, for example, the anti-counterfeiting collaboration started 2006 October thereabout.
Okay.
And it started because we've seen a lot of counterfeits out there, and we started as a prayer group to say let's bring awareness. Got some of these brands that are the targets of counterfeiters, and most of this time is the fast moving consumer goods. So we have a couple of them with us to say let's create a message, let's get to enlighten consumers about the evils, the dangers of counterfeiting. But I think one way or the other, now somebody can randomly be in his house and share a message on social media, and then it goes all over the world. So I think that is a major issue. Then secondly, you see, what we've also seen is that the more the disposable income reduces, and people don't want to go a bit below what their lifestyle has always been, the more they want to look for cheaper alternatives. And the more they look for cheaper alternatives, the more they fall into the hands of anti-counterfeiters who push cheaper alternatives to them, so that they can have that same experience
for cheaper.
For cheaper.
Yeah.
So they get cheaper for the same. So I think that is what has also fueled what we are seeing. And I think in sincerity, to some of the people who even get to take counterfeits unknowingly these days, it has taken a rather dangerous turn in the fact that in some cases those products are actually not cheaper. So put differently, the people who are also now doing business go for those cheaper alternatives to be able to bump their profits. So it's a myriad of factors that has really
So if I may understand, for clarity, you're saying that we have the counterfeit products which counterfeiters sell.
Yes.
But now those respectable outlets,
Yes.
in order to maximize their profits,
Yes.
they go for what they know is counterfeit.
Yes.
Then sell it as for premium price.
Premium price.
That's
So sort of they then mix it up. So if I'm going to buy 1,000 bottles, let me buy maybe 600 original and then mix with 400, and then I mean, those are things that we've also seen within the space. And to be sincere, it's a terrible thing to do. But you can, a lot of the times, except the consumer is very, very circumspect, you may not.
You will not know, trust me.
So what's even shocking here is that you carry fake drink in a coffin and they'll at the club, and they do all that for you, and it's fake.
It's fake, and you probably you will pay premium. It's just sad. And going back to what you said, like how widespread is this? Within Nigeria itself. And how much you feel we should be concerned, because we are in Lagos.
Oh yes.
We don't know how people outside Lagos are experiencing. We don't know if they experience. Because I saw a video on social media. Was it yesterday or so, where they showed like a whole street, like a market street that was busted by I think it was NAFDAC or so, right? And they had milk, this Hollandia milk counterfeit. They had what's it called? Coke, Fanta, Sprite, alcohol,
Peak
Maltina. It was a whole street. The whole street was filled with fake counterfeit, drinks, and I'm like, this is alarming. You know, so is it just, you know, is it widespread? Is it across Nigeria?
Let me shock you.
Yeah.
I was at Atlanta last year, and I led a conversation at a conference about anti-counterfeiting. And during the discussion, I had a guy from New York, I had a guy from Munich, I had a lady from Switzerland, and they talked about what is happening in Alaba.
Oh, really?
They talked about what is happening in Onitsha, because
Wow.
they have local brands in the market, and they found out that their products are selling in the market, but
No
their
profit.
production line, the goods are not moving from their production line. The products are selling. They went and did market investigation. They saw the products outside selling, but the goods are not moving from their
storage, right?
from their stores.
I was about to ask this question. That's literally my next question. You know, definitely, how has this actually affected, you know, the brands, right? Financially, right? You know, you just said that, but you know, just say if you have any figures to add to it, you know, because definitely this will affect the business.
Yes.
Do you understand? So, I don't know if you have data or information on how much, you know, the counterfeiting industry. Let me use the word industry, right? Has actually affected, you know, brands that actually, you know, sell their brands and want to move.
Well, there are global figures.
Okay.
We've as the anti-counterfeiting collaboration, we have not done a peer study around figures in Nigeria of recent. But I mean, from the conversations we have, because yearly we have roundtables, and the roundtable brings together a lot of brands, you know, the Unilevers of this world, the Diageos of this world, Sproxy, a lot of these big brands, BAT, and you see what we have, the conversations give us a very strong impression that the counterfeiting industry in Nigeria runs into hundreds of billions.
Wow.
Hundreds of billions. Wow. So it's actually a big thing that is happening, and I won't lie to you that brands are actually hemorrhaging.
They have to be, because almost everywhere you go these days, you know, you're sold a fake bottle, or you're hearing somebody complaining about him, you know, being sold a fake bottle, fake drink, or whatever, and it's just crazy, you know. Initially, we all assumed it was alcohol, right? Let's say spirits, right? But now we're finding out they've gone into Coke, Fanta, stuff that kids will be drinking. Milk, the Holanda milk pack, I saw it, fake. Do you understand? So kids are now involved, right? It's not just adults that are going out to drink, you know, for recreation, but you know, kids are now involved, and it's scary, because to think, so I mean, cost of production for them, right? The counterfeiters, right, must be very cheap.
Yes.
It's cheap.
Yes.
So to think that we're getting harmed, right, for, you know, at a very cheap price is alarming, and you know, it is just sad, you know, and unfortunately the people that are in the business are the ones being affected, you know. But besides you know, the surge you know, in increase of fake alcohol, like how has, you know, consumer demand for cheaper products, you know, contributed to this problem? Do you have an idea?
So Let me give a very good scenario.
Yeah.
I think the video you mentioned, I think I saw it. I even probably have it. I have it on my phone
Okay.
as we speak, and that happened a bit early in December.
Yeah.
And well, I told myself when I saw that video, I made a personal commitment to myself, and I said during the Christmas period, I wasn't thinking anything
Yeah. And
that I'll just be on water and smoothies. Now, I made a visit to a friend, and he brought red wine. Two of us made a visit, and he brought red wine. And the first person that tasted it said, "Nah, this is bad. This is not." And I decided I wasn't going to
Taste it at all.
have a taste at all. So the only time I would have strayed, this situation whipped me back in line. So you see the reality, what we've seen when we speak to some of our brands, is that a lot of the times the original owners of those brands go a long way to make specific markings on their bottles. So during the roundtable I mentioned, there is something that we used to do. We do something we call the product exhibition.
Okay.
That product exhibition is brand owners bringing both fake and original products.
Okay.
And during that roundtable, we have regulators, we have law enforcement agencies, the customs, the SON, the FCCPC, all of them are around. And what we do is the brand owners show the real and the fake. And what you see is on some of those bottles, the real owners are so painstaking, they would at some point inscribe some details either at the bottom of those bottles or close to the base of those bottles or close to the neck of those bottles to ensure that a consumer who knows it or who decides to be circumspect can look at those things. So they say when you grab your bottle, you should feel something scratching your hands, or when you hold it or you hold it underneath, you should feel something that looks like some rough edges. But the counterfeiter usually doesn't do that, and they then say to us that it actually increases the production price to be able to put those special features in it. So usually the counterfeiter doesn't do that, and because they don't do that, their cost of production actually reduces, which, so to say, drives up their productivity or their profitability. So usually what the original owners put in their product to make it special, to make it easily recognizable, the counterfeiters do not put them in.
I will probably even cause them more to do it still.
Definitely.
So it's best to stay away from it.
Yeah.
At least so that definitely. So I mean, for all of you people out there that drink or whatever brand or whatever it is you are drinking, try to ensure you know the what's it called, the original, the difference between the original and the counterfeit, right? So
and for alcohols, you try and look at almost all these brands have all those specific markings. Try to take. You should be a bit, what we usually say is when people want to be happy, when they get into that happy mood, they usually don't want to care about some of these finer details. You bring it. Let's
Especially when you want to show off in the club.
Yeah, exactly. So So it's always good to take that initial precaution. It would go a long way to save.
Definitely. Thank you for letting us know that. But are there other measures that organizations like yourself, that actually are there other measures you guys are trying to put in place or that are in place, to check the counterfeiters?
Okay, so I think the first thing an organization like us would try to do as a prayer group is to sensitize the public. Interestingly, I won't say unfortunately, we are a not-for-profit. So the kind of funds available to us is not that large. But like he mentioned, when we started the program, I was here during the World Anti-Counterfeiting Day to give a more like a talk show to try to sensitize the public about the evils of counterfeit and the need for people to actually be careful. And sincerely, while we were doing that program, then we gave out our number on air. If I tell you the kind of responses we got, some of these things we sent to the law enforcement agencies. Somebody says about 2 or 3 people specifically indicated they bought counterfeit at some specific locations, even in Lagos. They gave us
those are credible locations.
Credible physical locations that we sent
agents there to
to go and
you see why I should continue that program on Lagos Talks.
Definitely. But the reality is we also talk to our members to see how we can actually get the resources to be able to continue such initiatives. I think something that I probably have not mentioned. So I think the first thing is to say we try to focus on the public. That's the first thing. Then with the public, once the public is sensitized enough, the purchase of counterfeits would likely reduce. 2, we try to ensure that we deal as much as possible with counterfeiters, and then help brand owners who actually put in the effort to ensure that people consume safe and healthy products. And you see, there is another part, an economic part to this thing. Counterfeiters don't pay taxes.
Yeah, they escape
taxes,
and they get premium in return.
So the reality of it is that they don't pay taxes, and once they hit the profit line of the original brand owners, the brand owner starts struggling to even pay its workers. So it's a hydra head monster.
The brand owners and take charge.
And what exactly what does the future look like?
As we get into the future, we need to handle the future in 2 minutes. Because we need to wrap it up right now. Yes.
So I think what I would say definitely is that more than before, brand owners have to take the bull by the horn. Some of the things we've had is, once I tell people that there are counterfeits of my brand, people want to run away totally from the brand. But you have to now get brand strategists, marketing experts that will be able to curate the message
without killing the brand.
Without killing the brand. I think that is something we should look
But
at.
do our brands understand that you can do that?
Definitely, I believe some of them understand that. Those who don't understand, I think that is why we try to tell people, come to the ACC. We have people who have success stories, and they try to bring out those success stories so that people who don't understand how to do it can actually take that leave and use the playbook. And that's why probably the brand Diageo or something they have been able to do a good work around that area. So people should come around. For ACC, we have regulators in the room who are members. We have law enforcement agencies. So getting in with an organization like ACC put you sitting side by side with regulatory agencies. So it's not when you see your counterfeits of your product that you start running all about. You can then call the man that sat with you at the last meeting and say, this is what I have seen. What can you do? You are not going there now as a stranger. You are going in as a friend. And it's easier for you to get responses and results.
I mean, I think it's only right that you share your contact number as well. So hopefully it can play out the same way it did the last time when people can call you and call out.
Okay, so the for emails is info at anticounterfeiting.com .ng.
Okay.
That's the email. But for myself, I can be reached on 070 3171 4939.
Okay, can you give the number one more time in case
070 3171 4939.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Ayokunle. Time is against us, but it was really nice to have you here, and I hope we've managed to give value to the audience out there. Kayode,
yes sir.
Thank you as well. You guys can catch up with us on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us Nairametrics on social media as well. And hopefully we hope we've been able to give value to you today. I'll see you again next week. Thank you guys. Bye.
Definitely. The Everyday Money Matters will be back next week, and we thank you all for tuning in and being a part of this conversation right about now. Before we cross over, let me take this message from one of our listeners all the way from the UK. He says